what happens at the ordinary temperatures? This is another important thing we are going to discuss. So look here, at, at ordinary temperatures, watch closely. We have already seen at low pressures, A by Vm square becomes predominant. At high pressures, P into B becomes predominant. So at low pressure, one factor is predominant. At high pressure, the other factor is predominant. So what happens? In some intermediate range, both of the things will get balanced. And at that situation, the real gas shows ideal behavior, which is the small horizontal portion of the curve. Which is the small horizontal portion of the curve. Look here, where is the curve? There is a small horizontal portion. Here is also a small horizontal portion. Here is also a small horizontal portion. Actually, the small, see, look here, from this point to this point, that is where the PV curve comes down with the increase in pressure. Up to this point, A by Vm square factor is playing a vital role. After this point, BP factor plays vital role. So in a small range of pressure, the A by Vm square and the BP, these two things, they get balanced, and we are getting a very small portion where we are getting a flat or a horizontal line. If it is a horizontal, then it is an ideal gas. So the real gases behave ideally in a very small range of pressures. It is the range in which A by Vm square and BP, they get cancelled or they balance each other, and the equation becomes ideal in this point. So the ideal behavior is assumed by the real gases at a small pressure range, which is unique for every gas molecule. So see, for carbon monoxide, it is almost at here this pressure. For methane, it is almost at this pressure. For ammonia, it is almost at this pressure. So these are all the pressures of our different gases at which the real gases assume the ideal behavior. But all these things are observed at a particular temperature. We are not changing the temperature. We are just changing the pressure, and we are monitoring the compressibility factor. So that is what is discussed here. At low pressure, A by Vm square is predominant. At high pressure, B into P is predominant. So in some intermediate range, both these factors balance each other, and in that range, we are getting a very small horizontal portion, which shows that the real gases behave ideally in this range of pressures. Look here, when temperature is very high, what happens? At a constant pressure, temperature and volume are directly related. When temperature increases, volume also increasing. See, increased volume, the volume is in the denominator, and also it's a square. So if V increases, V square will increase much faster. So what happens? The denominator becomes bigger and bigger. So A by Vm square becomes negligible, and B also becomes negligible, because V into P, V minus B into P means pressure is a constant, which is multiplied by B, and V is increasing. So the B into P will also be negligible. So the equation becomes PV is equal to RT. So at high temperatures, the deviations from the ideal behavior become less and less when the temperature increases. So look here, when you are measuring the compressibility factor at various temperatures, see, at minus 70 degrees centigrade, see, the dip is more. and the flat area is less and it goes up. At a minus 25 degree, there is less dip and it goes up. But at a moderate temperature, say 50 degrees centigrade, the whole line is almost horizontal. It's not horizontal, but it is almost horizontal up to this point, and then there is a small increase. So when temperature increases, among the temperatures taken minus 70, minus 25, 20, 50, 50 is the highest. So when the temperature is less, the deviation is more. When the temperature is more, the line becomes almost horizontal without any dip here. So it behaves ideally at a high temperature. Suppose if the same observation is recorded at a still higher temperature, I think the curve might have become very horizontal like this. So when temperature increases, the real gas tries to behave as ideal gas. Now look here, this is an exception. Hydrogen and helium are exceptional cases because hydrogen and helium are very small sized atoms. Hydrogen is the smallest of all the elements, and next to that helium, even hydrogen is a molecule, but helium is an atomic molecule. So the sizes are very small. So as the sizes are very small attractive force is existing among them. So what happens? As the cohesive force or the attractive force is very small, then the pressure correction term, that is A by Vm square, becomes negligible because of the very small attraction. So the equation becomes PVM is equal to RT plus BP. So PVM increases with pressure at ordinary temperatures. So this is the reason for the exceptional behavior of helium and hydrogen. Now look here, we can find out the temperature which is called the Boyle temperature. It is the temperature at which the real gas obeys Boyle's law. Normally Boyle's law is obeyed by ideal gases, but there is a particular temperature. As we have discussed in the previous slide, there is a particular small range of pressure in which the real gases behave ideally. Similarly, there is a particular temperature at which the real gases obey Boyle's law. That temperature is called Boyle temperature. Boyle temperature is equal to A by BR, where A and B are van der Waals constants. So if you know the van der Waals constant of any gas, you can very easily find out the Boyle temperature, that is the temperature at which that particular gas obeys Boyle's law. So these are all the important deviations or important explanations from the van der Waals equation. So are you able to understand? If you have any doubt, you can ask me.